Huh? Come. That's all. It's very nice, interesting.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. Have a seat.
Thank you.
So your name is Shipra, right? So Shipra, uh, do you agree to the view that Indians are indisciplined as a whole?
No, sir. I would not agree as a blanket statement that Indians are indisciplined. Yes, there are allegations that are put that Indians are not punctual sometimes, or they can be clumsy. But I do not think that a blanket statement could be made as such.
So what are the what small events that you can quote in your experience that tells you think what the way you think?
For instance, sir, Indians they have a regular routine of cleaning up before entering the kitchen. That is something which indicates that they have a cleanliness routine. Yes, sir. So
Okay.
that-
Good. Your prize and medals include first prize for essay writing organized by CVC 2017. CVC is?
Central Vigilance Commission.
Okay. And what was the topic of this essay?
My vision of corruption free.
Okay. So what is your vision for corruption free India?
So my vision is that I believe that at the moment we have made improvements with respect to corruption, but there is scope for improvement as well. Like in the corruption index, in the transparency transparency international index, we rank 85th, sir, which has come down from the ranking of above 100. So there have been strides which have been made, but still I think in the general perception of at the grassroots, we do see that corruption is prominent. So there's scope, sir.
So as far as CVC is concerned, how CVC can directly address this grassroots level corruption? Does it have a mandate?
So not directly at the grassroots level, sir, but it will ensure that the interface between institutions, public institutions, and the people is targeted, because people who are working in public offices come in direct contact with the people on a very daily basis. So if their behavior, or if the public offices, if the employees of the public offices have this behavior of taking bribes or so, then it can have a very direct impact. So regulating them will definitely stop the corruption at grassroots level.
Okay. You have been a speaker in the Nature's Club department in your college, right?
Yes.
So what kind of topics you used to speak on?
Sir, it was a general awareness club in which disciplines of biotechnology, biology, and zoology were integrated. And there were campaigns or awareness campaigns which were led out. There were exercises also that were conducted. So in those events, sir, as the speaker, I used to represent. For instance, we had been to Sanjay Gandhi National Park, which is in Mumbai, and there was leopard census that was organized, and there was World Wildlife Week celebration as well. So in those events, sir, I had spoken.
This Sanjay Gandhi National Park was in news recently regarding metro.
Yes.
Mumbai Metro. So, what was the issue and what is your view on that?
So, the Sanjay Gandhi National Park is very close to RA Colony in Mumbai, and there is a proposal that the Mumbai Metro Rail must be expanded to the western sector as well, which will bypass the RA Colony. And there have been environmental agitations in that regard, sir, because it would harm the wildlife and also the people who are living in that area, the tribals also.
What is your view?
Sir, I believe that in following the environmental sensitive area or zone or so, it can be seen that it will transgress those areas. But at the same time, if co-projects are being held out in the metro project to those people who can sustain from that livelihood, then I think it will have a positive impact.
Okay. You are aware that India is recently hosting G20 presidency,
Yes.
right? And there are a host of events going on in India. The tagline of G20 says Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, right? So what is there in the world? What does world expect from India, especially as a president of G20? What is your view on that?
So India's G20 presidency can give opportunity to India to outshine in various aspects. One can be in terms of renewable energy. For instance, we have the One Sun, One World, One Grid initiative. That is one, sir. So in terms of climate change and alternative energy, the practices or the initiatives that we have taken can be put to forth, sir. Second is in the terms of disaster management. For instance, our technology transfer and assistance to small island developing nations for disaster management. That can be another example of how we are taking the world as a whole in this initiative. Third can be terrorism, sir, because it is affecting all the parts of the world from the west to the east. And very prominently, we have a neighbor who is poking us on terrorism now and then. So I think on those regards, sir.
Okay. I will quote 4 terms. Think over it and tell me the difference. What is the difference between 1, 2, and 3 and 4? The terms are growth, development, empowerment, and emancipation.
So growth is a quantitative subject wherein in the general parlance it looks on to economic growth of a particular region or of a particular community or of a nation, sir. Development, on the other hand, is more wholesome in the respect that it does consider economy as one of its major pillar, but at the same time it also looks on other indicators. For instance, how well is the environment, sir, or what are the social indicators. So it is more wholesome and more comprehensive, sir. Empowerment, sir, is related to upliftment of certain sections of society or of a nation out of a problem or out of a social issue, more so, to transgress the boundaries that are set upon itself and to come out of it and to be empowered, sir. With respect to emancipation, sir, I'm not really sure of the narrowed down definition.
Okay, thank you.
Shipra, in zoology, why is zoonotic diseases are on rise? Now and then we have some disease coming up.
So one general observation that has been seen in terms of zoonotic diseases is that where, sir, the consumption of animal or animal produce is more, there we have seen that the incidences of zoonotic diseases is also more. So I think first is the consumption based lifestyle on which it depends, sir.
So what if the world becomes vegetarian? This problem will be solved, I guess.
No, sir, there are many other factors as well, sir. The second factor that I can remember right now is, for instance, the climate change impact. One example is this, that during the Nipah virus that had gone that had become more prominent in Kerala, sir. It was noted that those fruit bats came from Malaysia and from Southeast Asian nations, where there was large-scale deforestation. And then the fruit bats had to move from the coastal region. They moved to the peninsular part of India.
To climate change, deforestation is a man-made activity.
Yes, sir.
Actually, you used climate change.
Yes, sir. So deforestation anthropogenically as well, and also there are wildlife fires that take place that causes migration of such animals from one place to another, sir. So that is second observation. And third is, sir, human-wildlife conflict. More cohabitation in the spaces of animals increases our vulnerability.
Do you think clinical trials are ethical?
Involving animals, sir?
Yes. Testing drugs on animals. Do you think it's ethical? You should continue doing that.
Sir, at the moment, we have clinical trials that are conducted on a few specified animals per se. For instance, in the case of anthropods, we have dragonflies. there are rats on which it is continued, and
Right.
for mammalian studies, sir, guinea pigs. So the specification or the narrowing down of certain animals for this purpose indicates our reflect towards respecting animal rights as well. But sir, if it is uncontrolled or if the regulations are too flexible, then I believe that it can become an issue, sir.
Do you know what is principle of anonymity?
Principle of anonymity, sir. Yes, sir.
What is it?
So principle of anonymity is the principle which outlines that in respect of privacy concerns.
There are two principles. Every civil servant in a democracy needs to follow. One is principle of neutrality and the other is principle of anonymity. Have you heard about them?
So not specifically, but I could make a guess, sir. So with respect to both, or
No, only with respect to anonymity.
so if there are any statements, public statements being made by civil servants, then they have to be within the guidelines, and also not too much of public exposure has to be shown, sir. That
So
in
in
my
that
opinion.
regard, do you think civil services are often seen on social media, doing their videos on YouTube and posting on Instagram? Do you think it's ethical? Or is it against the principle of anonymity?
So as far as if to the extent that they are following the statute guidelines and provisions, then I believe it is a good step, sir. Because being out of technology or being out of social media would leave public services in a bureaucratic touch, and they would lose the touch on the ground. And also, sir, they will have to be aware of the activities that are taking place even in the digital space. So as far as whatever is being posted online is completely legal and it follows the principle of neutrality as well, then I believe it is not harmful.
What is OTT?
OTT, sir. OTT is in the full form. It means over the top platform, sir, which provides streaming services. For instance, Netflix or Amazon.
Do you think there should be some kind of censorship because they show too much of violence and sometimes obscenity? Do you think they should be brought under the censorship?
Yes, sir. So there is self-regulatory body which has been set up, and implementation of those rules must be carried out because, for instance, parental controls or steps in that regard must be taken place, and also a public office or an office for accountability must be set up by these companies so that the government or the other.
So there should not be government censorship. You are saying it should be self-censorship that should be imposed.
So with respect, there should be self-regulation because a lot of regulation in the space of entertainment has often led to protests which are unneeded or unnecessitated. So a self-regulatory body, but also having a body or a public office that can respond to grievances of the general public and to respond to the government authorities as well. That's in my opinion.
Have you heard about lateral entry? Do you think as lateral entry towards specialization, it should be promoted? More lateral entry should be done. What is your take on that?
So lateral entry is a good step in civil services because it will provide us with experience in the public service. But I think a proportionality must be set in the manner that the regular recruitments that are done from the grassroots level, from the ground level, sir, and the lateral entry must be balanced and it should not be skewed towards any one direction.
Okay. So,
Panther recently the news of a big industry is died in the road accident.
Yes.
What it shows overall about our road condition?
Yes, sir. So, road accidents or the situation of roads in India or the traffic in India is something that has been a subject of worry, and there should be improvements, sir. So, for instance, improving the condition of roads, and it is often seen that there is corruption involved in tendering of road projects, So that can be one. Second is uniformly moving towards moving from EPC, I believe. So EPC was the model, but I'm not able to recollect it as of now. So that more roads can be built with efficiency and also quality roads can be
Go
built.
to EPC or we should go for the toll-based models?
So I think it was EPC before, and then we moved on to a hybrid annuity model, HAM. So shifting towards HAM would be the right step, uniformly throughout the country for roads and so that form of PPP models. And
Have you heard about Swiss challenge method?
sorry, sir.
Swiss challenge method.
Sorry, sir. I'm not aware.
Carbon port. Have you heard?
Yes, sir.
What is the controversy?
So, Vadhavan Port is a major project, is a major port that is proposed to be set up with the corpus of around 70,000 crore, and it will stretch through the entire western zone of Mumbai and Palghar districts. Sir. The controversy mainly has been regarding environmental degradation. Sir.
We support the building of port.
So I believe that infrastructurally, even though Mumbai is the economic capital of India, or the financial capital of India, sir, infrastructurally Mumbai needs a boost in the direction that there is not much expansion of metros, and even ports are not being utilized for public or are not utilized up to its potential, sir. So like I said, even in the metro project, yes, sir. So JNPT is there, sir, but still the potential that can be utilized, particularly because there are a lot of exports that move through cargo from Mumbai. So I think building a new port will help in that direction, sir. So it will be on a PPP based model. I'm not able to do it. Vijaykumar port, sir. No, sir.
There was protest going on.
Yes, sir.
So those people of Palghar about this project. They want it or they want it?
Sorry, sir.
People of Palghar, they want this project to be done or not to be done?
So people who are residing in that area where the port is going to be set up are mainly from the fishing and the tribal community, sir. So that will impact their livelihoods if such a port is being built up, and therefore they are against moving ahead with this plan, sir.
People of Palghar also for the bullet train, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Sir, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it is again because of pulling out of mangroves and overall environmental degradation.
Because environmental degradation is
Yes, sir. I'm not exactly sure, sir, but I see.
corruption. Emphasis nowadays put on the topics like ethics, and in the UPSC mains also is a topic called ethics. Especially work forced on a system, or actually forced work on an individual. What is it?
So I think it should move in tandem, so it should move simultaneously. For an individual, since one is born, I think the foundational values must be set so that one feels guilty if somebody does a wrong thing, and corruption being one of them, sir. Institutionally, sir, there should be steps, or there should be regulatory bodies that have check and balances. For instance, CVC is one good instance, and even regular training. For example, for civil services, we have the Karma Yogi platform that has been set up. So in tandem, sir, both for personal as well as for institutional regulations. It must be.
One has to be chosen.
Yes.
Institutional regulations and working on individual. What will you choose? What should be your priority?
So I think individual. Yes.
Related to values.
Yes.
Maladministration, have you heard?
Yes, sir.
And corruption, which is more problem. For what India is suffering more.
So in my limited understanding, sir, that both go on simultaneously. So for instance, if there's corruption, there's maladministration too. And if there's maladministration, it will definitely have some instance of corruption taking place.
So policy decided is wrong. Then it is what? Corruption or maladministration?
Then it will be maladministration, sir. Yes, sir, there's a difference, sir.
What is more in your sector? Deciding policy wrong or taking some bribe?
Sir, corruption.
Corruption is more in.
Yes.
Policy wrong is it?
So I believe that intentionally making policies wrong is something without any monetary benefit is something that one individual would not do. It would be a mistake that would happen by hand, which is a human factor and can take place in any institutional setup. So, which could be done through training and building the caliber of the individual. But if somebody's intentions are not in place, then no matter the training that is being provided, it would be of no use and the person would misuse the authority that they have. So that is
Anthropologically, I don't know, we have launched to the Anthropocene age presently in the world.
yes.
Humans are covered the completely. Can we reverse this age?
Going back to the Holocene, sir.
Yes. Because abruptly, Holocene is ended
Yes.
and Anthropocene age is launched. Can we reverse it?
Sir, it remains to be seen, sir. But yes, there are steps which have been taken in this regard. For instance, the Paris Climate Agreement, which is targeting towards limiting the greenhouse gas emissions to 2 degrees Celsius, or the difference to be 2 degrees Celsius, and trying for 1.5 degrees Celsius. So there are steps which have been taken in that regard towards reversing the impacts that have taken place after the Industrial Revolution. But yes, sir, it remains to be seen because there is a lot of laxity on the part of developed nations as well. So,
Have you heard about the Meghalaya age of Earth?
Meghalaya age of also. No, sir.
Bank of Baroda, your father worked in, correct?
Yes.
So why Bank of Baroda has the highest number of foreign branches among all 47 banks?
Yes.
Bank of Baroda has the highest number of foreign branches. So what's the purpose?
I'm not exactly aware, but I think, sir, it would somewhere have to do with the efficiency of domestic banks as well, so that it could penetrate, it could build upon profit and penetrate globally. But I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. Last year, budget government announced that they are going to privatize two banks, two to three banks at least. But they haven't announced anything in a full year. What could be the reason?
No,
This year, budget, last year's budget mainly that they announced that they are going to privatize the public sector.
okay, sir.
But they haven't declared anything in the year. What could be the reason?
So I believe because privatizations have taken place in the past few years or so, or sorry, sir, mergers have taken place in the past few years, and already we are seeing some improvements in that regard. For instance, the twin balance sheet problem that was there, or the NPAs have reduced to around 5% or so. So there are improvements which we are seeing, and also there are agitations taking place with respect to recurrent privatizations. So I think, sir, it could be because of these two factors.
Because the focus is on past or on the future?
So I think it is on the present, sir.
Okay, present.
Yes.
So how do you see today's world, today's India, present? What type of country we are?
So we are a developing economy, we are a developing country, sir, and we have successfully completed 75 years of independence, and we are entering into the Amrit Kal, sir, with the motive of transforming India and bringing about developments that can be done. So,
And how you see your present and what you are what role you had?
so with respect to India, sir, or as an individual? So I think from my childhood itself, I think I somewhere had this inclination towards civil services, and I started preparing in that direction. But also I took graduation in zoology and environmental sciences. In whatever limited individual capacity I could, I think I participated in various activities, one of them being Nature's Club. So spreading awareness about environment was something me and my team members were inclined towards. So I think that limited contributions.
Okay. How many times you have anything for the area you come to?
So if I do get inducted into the services, sir, so I think women empowerment and education, sir, would be something that I would be interested to work in specifically. Thank you, sir.
Shipra, have you heard of Jana Vishwas bill?
Jan Vishwas bill, sir. So is it related to taxation reform, sir, or taxation?
No, taxation is one part of it.
I'm not entirely aware.
Okay. Have you heard of a report called Jailed for Doing Business in India?
Sorry, sir.
Jailed for Doing Business in India. Okay. These two things are related. Please do read about them.
Okay.
It is currently in news. Thank you. Your interaction is over. We'll call you in a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.